Hey, how you doing? Got a little something to show you. Just uh, give you a little story about it. When I was young, I lived in a two-story home with my mom. I must have been about maybe like 8 years old. And my room was above my neighbor's yard. My neighbor, one night, came out in his yard. I think it was the holiday, 4th of July, New Year's Eve. One of those days people shoot in the air. This was years when people could shoot outside. And my neighbor came outside. Street light was between our house and his house. Amber street light. I remember it plain like it was yesterday. Came outside in a robe, nice robe, like he was uh, a king or something. Came outside in a nice robe in his backyard and pulled out two, not one, but two 44 Magnum revolvers. All I remember, it was blue black steel with a pearl handle grip. Blue black steel with a pearl handle grip. And he pointed them in the air and let off some rounds. And those rounds sounded like blooga, 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 blooga. And after he let those rounds off, all I seen was the fire coming out the front. Fire just walking out. And I turned around like I seen a ghost. Turned around, headed straight for my bed, and I laid in the bed all night staring at the ceiling with my eyes open. I was impressed. I said, when I get older, that's what I want. I don't know what kind of gun it was. All I know was some big guns. He had two. So when I made about maybe 15, it was this grocery store, kind of like Walmart, big grocery store. And they sold guns in the grocery store. And I walked straight to the gun counter and looked in the glass and was looking for the biggest gun in there. I said, if I see the biggest gun in there, whatever that is, that's what he had. So when I seen it, I stared at it so hard, the guy behind the counter said, "Can I help you?" I asked the guy, I told her, I said, "What kind of gun is that right there?" He said, "That's a 44 Magnum." I didn't know what size it was, if it was a 6-inch, 8-inch. All I know, it was huge. So the guy said, "You want to buy it?" Now, I'm 15 years old. I guess he was joking. He said, "You want to buy it?" And I told him, "Yeah." I said, "I want two. I want two of them. Two, can you give me two blue black steels with the pearl handle?" And he laughed. And that's what I always made my case. I was going to get me two. I got one, but I almost let this slide, is because I was reading comments one time when I was in the market of buying one. This is like 7 years ago. Read comments that, hey, they're not the same as the originals. The handle is small. It's a small grip handle. So that stopped me from buying it. And what I did with this one was took it apart. I always take all my weapons apart. Took it apart, and if you can see, the buttstock is treated, wood grain protector on it. So just in case, any water or anything. It won't damage my wood. But that's what I did. I took it apart. When I took it apart, I took some mothers. You could take any kind of polish you want. Took some mothers and shined my trigger and my hammer. Shine the trigger and the hammer. I ain't gonna about to say it, and you already see what it is, but shine the trigger, shine the hammer, and put it back together. So I guess I'm the only one with a chrome trigger and a chrome hammer with some shiny wood grain buttstocks. You know, you can see yourself in them. You can see yourself in it. I know I see myself in it. I don't know if you can see it pretty good, but yeah, this get down, I nicknamed it the cannon, because it get down. The sight adjustment, I painted the sight adjustment, green tip. I had the red front post painted, but it don't last too long on there. I had to peel it off, so I'm going to figure something else out on what I want to do to it. But yeah, this the cannon, and it get down. And it runs smooth like butter. Like I say, I treat all my weapons, take them all apart. 4 ingredients I use: transmission fluid, grease, fully synthetic oil, and I have to put a rust protector on it. And the only problem is, I see a lot of people that shoot them with 2 hands. I was always seeing people shooting with 1 hand. And like I said, my neighbor had 2. So he was shooting both of them one-handed. So when I took it to the range, I was like, okay, I'll play along with the rules, shooting it with 1 hand, looking professional. But I like shooting it with 1 hand. You could shoot it with 1 hand. I didn't understand why people had to sit down too at the range. Like I went to one range, stood up, and a man run over to me and hurry up and gave me a chair. He said, "Hey man, you can sit down and have a seat." I was like, "You can't stand up?" And it was strange, I guess. Yeah, when I purchased this weapon like 7 years ago, it was like $700. And I see him now like about 1,000 on up, I guess. But it'll be worth it. Yeah, I wasn't really into the movie Dirty Harry. Wasn't really never into that movie, but I watched it, and the sound effects in that movie was kind of off from what the gun really sound like. The sound effects in that movie, if you ever listen to the sound effects in that movie, that's not how a 44 Magnum sound. So yeah, everybody go about that movie, but that's not what I heard when I was 8 years old. I remember it sounding more like blogger, 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 blogger. In the movie, it sounds more like pew, 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 pow, pow. That's what it sounds like. That's not the sound of this gun. Pow. It was an echo sound he had, like he was shooting it in a tunnel or something. Sounded like I don't know what kind of gun that sound effect was, but that didn't sound like gun. I would have to look at that movie again, but that sound effect was, I would laugh every time I would hear that sound effect. But I remember the first time I purchased this weapon, and I fired it, had a 50 round box of ammo, and when I fired it, my hand was hurting. Just with 20 rounds, my hands must have hurted for like 2 weeks. My hand I was holding the gun, it must have hurted for like hurted 2 weeks. So now what I do, I haven't shot it in a while, but I wear gloves because this weapon don't play. You know, got them old isotonic gloves. This old school right here. You can't even find these kind of gloves no more. These them old isotonics. I think these was like from the maybe 2000. Yeah, 2000 when I bought these gloves. But they kind of help out when I'm shooting it. Gloves kind of smell like what's kind of that gun cleaner. That's what these gloves smell like, because they've been in a gun cleaner, my travel bag. But yeah, this is a sweetie right here. This is a Canon. This is the real deal. So I love it. I would never never get rid of it. But all my wood on all my weapons, I kind of like to protect them all. Protect them and preserve it. But I'm going to take a few shots with it later on today.